Hello and welcome to where are we at? Week 4, I think, of the UK Clubs Self-Isolating Pawns Team Battle. Now, it's been very London-centric the last few weeks. Teams only from the Middlesex League have been playing, but tonight we have Hales Owen Chess Club, who are from a place near Birmingham, and they have joined us this week. As you can see, we have 20 seconds to go before we start, and yeah, I am pumped. I am excited to start this. So let's what have we got? 10 seconds until we get going, and then we can start smashing some people up, hopefully. Okay, here we got King's Head Viking. Okay, I can guess which club this guy is from. What should we play? Should we play symmetrical today? What would be sensible? I think what I'm going to try to do over the course of this stream is play as many different openings as I can. I've had a very healthy dinner of chips, of which I've still got a few here, and cauliflower cheese. I am carved up and ready to go. Let's see how we get on. I don't know what to do here. I never know how to play these positions, because you can't move the D pawn because the knight just gets hoovered off. Do you play E5 here? I suppose it's sensible. There's a danger that your pawn on D7 gets a bit marooned, but that cannot be helped. Hope everyone's doing okay in this these uncertain times. I even managed to have my first quarantine haircut today. I've been doing it myself for over 10 years, so I was well prepared for lockdown. But yeah, it seems to have gone well today. Enjoying the little buzz I've got. But the guy who's in chat there, Freddie Sugden. Actually, you can't see him. There is a guy in the chat on Lee Chess at the moment called Freddie Sugden, who I met once in Canterbury in the during the British Championship. I didn't meet him over the board. I met him afterwards in like the bar or something, and he had the temerity to eat one of my sandwiches that I'd ordered. That's all I know about him. That's all I remember about him. So I'm sure he's a perfectly pleasant chap, and he's nice to animals and all of that, but he's yeah, that's a name I haven't seen for about 10 years. You never forget when someone eats your sandwich. It's just not a done thing. Not the done thing. Try and supplant pieces into his side of the board here. Yeah, let's get this done. You can go there and then like D5, or can I just... So we've not got much choice there. My knight looks very silly on E8 though. I might need to sort this out fairly soon. Ooh, do we play Queen A5 or do we just hoover off that knight? I like to hoover off these pieces that get into my half of the board. And we can kick you out fairly easily. Where's my knight heading? C5? Seems reasonable, doesn't it? Yep. Just keep plugging away. Ah, now that's a problem, isn't it? Okay, we can be a bit tricksy. I still have some tricks, Mr. Kingshead Viking, sir. Do I want to play f5 at any point? Probably not, but I'll still play this one. Over. What should we do next? Because I'm feeling like my position is not the most active. Let's get my king onto a dark square. That seems sensible. Okay, f5 seems more in keeping now. That he just moves the queen off the defence of f2. Background today, we've got the Boards of Canada, one of my favourite bands, the Scottish, I don't know what you call them, a electronica group who've very secretive, and they've put out a whole bunch of material. This is the Campfire Head Phase, which is an album from I think 2005. Sounds about right in my head. It's definitely in my teens when it came out. Can we let that pawn on d6 go? Yeah, so these are the kind of positions I'm not that good at, where I'm just, oh okay, we don't even have to query that. Let's just bring this queen back into the game, put it on the same diagonal as the king. That seems reasonable. We're going to keep going after f2 here. We're definitely going to go after f2 here. It's coming. We'll have that queen. That might be murder she wrote. That is murder she wrote. Okay. So that's a good start. That is a good start. Who have we got next? So, who are we doing? Muswell Hill are leading at the moment, which is nice. Mr. Sudgton, as you can see in the chat, is still having a nightmare. This is what you get for eating people's sandwiches, essentially. Here we go, Ice Force. Yeah, we can probably berserk this one. Let's have a go at berserking against someone rated 1550. It's a bit arrogant, but we are here to win. Berserking, if you halve your time, you get the opportunity to win a bonus point. So you get 2 for winning normally, but you can get 3 if you give yourself half the starting time that you might otherwise have. What do I do here? I don't really want to play knight h4. I don't really want to swap queens either. He's got 3 pieces looking at my... I could play queen c... No, I can't play queen c2. Or can I? Takes. Yeah, this seems okay. I used a lot of time making that decision. I'm going to have to really speed up here. Okay. My basic plan is to... Oh, okay. It's coming after me with all these pieces. Swaps are good. Swaps are good for me when I've... Okay, you're giving me a piece? Feels like you're giving me a piece. I will... Ah, you've got this nice little trick with F5 here? I think I can take on E5 and then... Ooh, I'll keep hoovering off the pieces, I think, and then I've got this nice little trick. If you played E4, I'd had rook E1, and then the pawn would be pinned to the rook on E8. As it is, I think we're doing absolutely fine, and we can just try to convert our extra piece now. I want to get that bishop into the game. Let's go this way. Can keep trying to get this bishop into the game. Not entirely comfortable with how the last few moves have gone, but ooh, do I have F4? No, I don't. I can't even move that pawn. What am I doing? Let's try and activate my pieces. Otherwise, I'm going to be moaning at you for the rest of the tournament. Yeah, we'll keep swapping pieces. I'm very happy to keep swapping. Oh, I'm very happy to keep swapping here. Oh, keep swapping. Please do. Ooh, I'll play that one back. Now, can we use these pieces to get some groovy mating net? I think we probably can. We like groovy mating nets. Rook E7's coming next, I guess. Okay, where's the net? That looks like a start. And do we just play bishop E6 and then rook F7 mate? I think we do. We do. Right, thank you for the game. Much better start than last week where I lost my first 4 games here, and actually here I am leading the tournament, but there is nearly 2 hours to go. We have barely started, we have barely begun. How's everyone's day gone? Saturdays are weird now. I used to spend Saturdays in the pub watching football, and now I spend it streaming chess tournaments on Twitch. Who can say whether my life choices are healthier for me now than they used to be? McBooth! Hello McBooth! I don't know who you are, but you seem to be doing quite well in the tournament as well. McBooth is from King's Head, which is one of the more friendly chess clubs in London. Very famous club. Used to hold their... I think it was they used to hold an annual rapid play first weekend of April, and the first time I played in it I was possibly something like 10, and it was the first adult tournament I'd played, and I did pretty well. I won a prize for the best player in my rating category, and it kind of sort of indicated to probably a few people, but definitely myself, definitely my parents, that maybe I could make things happen, because it was the weekend after I'd failed to make it through the England under-11 team trial, and I was feeling like I might possibly stop playing. I don't think there was... It's one of those where when you play football and chess, you have a choice, right? You can either play football on the football or chess. You don't really have an option to play both because they clashed on the weekends. Oh, these pawns just roll through, surely. Anyway, I played this King's Head rapid play, won this prize, and started to really motor along in my chess development. This is awful for him, surely. This can't be much fun at all. My pieces are just making a lot of sense. My bishops are both raking through the position. And I've got two, possibly, well, I've definitely got two passed pawns here, haven't I? I think this is going fairly well. But I remember in that tournament I was rated, what would be the equivalent? It was an English rating of, it can be something sexy here, I think. Do I want D5 or yeah, let's do the D5. I was rated about, what's the equivalent? Something like 80 times, around 1200, 1300. Let's say something like that. But I was beating people around 1800. It was a real marker. But that tournament hasn't happened for a while yet. But I still hold King's Head fondly in my heart. And yeah, it's been nice to get to know a lot of their players over the year, playing in over the 11 years that I've played in the Middlesex League. And I'm now going to take great pleasure in beating their players in this tournament, hopefully. If I can't break through here, then something's dreadfully wrong. I will be amazed. Are we that worried about this? Surely I can just go Queen takes D4 and then... Is there really no breakthrough here? Are these pawns just rolling? Pawns look like they're rolling. This feels exceptionally bad for Mr. McBoof, whomever that may be. What's the simplest way to do things here? I want to hoover off pieces, but that is not the easiest thing to do. It's worth a little think, I reckon. It's the kind of position that can go horribly wrong if you misplay it, because they've still got all their major pieces. Should we just play the simple stuff? So I can't see a way for him to smash through, so I'm just going to play sensibly and pray that there's nothing I've missed. That might actually help me now that there's no clear path through for the queen. Which one do we want to do? All right, let's play a bit faster. Otherwise, we might get ourselves into trouble, and we do not want to get ourselves into trouble here, nor do we want that if pawn to come any further towards our king. I'll be really disappointed if I don't win this. Oh, hold on, we just got simple things now. It looks like we have simple things. Simple things. We like simple things. Yeah, this is all fine. G2, F2, and then just King G2. And that should be it. I hope that this is it. Don't think you've got any more tricks. Think you have exhausted your hand, sir. Yay, good. Okay, 3 out of 3. And we are still leading the tournament, but so long to go. This is gone alright so far. I'm going to try to stay in this for 2 hours. I Whether I'll stream for 2 hours, I don't know, because it's quite tiring doing this. I've had a long day, but if you are enjoying this so far, you may say hello in the chat and we can have a little, we'll get something going. Dobbos, who's Dobbo? Dobbo's from Hackney. Let's play Caracan. Okay. Oh, we have a fantasy. Let's deny that fantasy. Bishop e3? Is that a move? Okay, so the fancy variation, the idea is that the white gets a bit more central control, but the pieces, because the knight and the queen can't go to or look at f3 anymore, or through f3 anymore, means that white's development might be slightly compromised. I'm wondering whether I should actually have played the other knight there. Okay. Hi Chris, thank you for watching this. Let's keep going. Yap Attack in the comments is one of my brightest and best students. He works very hard at this game. And he's doing very well. Ooh, how do I get the rest of my pieces out here? If I messed this up already, I hope not. The problem I've got is the Queen G5 happens quite quickly if I let it, but I think I can play this way. Don't really want to castle that way either. Yeah, I'm not happy with how this has gone. Feel like I've just cramped myself. Right. Having said that, my queen's on the correct square. That might help me actually. Now I get a lot of space on the king side, I think, on the queen side. The f5 is coming, but I feel like I just cast the queen side and just keep taking some squares and block up what remains of the queen side, and then just try to make something happen. Okay, so this all seems very sensible. Can hide the king. Okay, so white's doing the right things by being a bit more expansive, but I feel like I can now. Okay, this is a bit trickier than I thought. I've got to start doing things on the queen side, I suppose. It'd be rude not to. It is, after all, where the white king is, and if he's going to be focusing all his energy on the king side, then he might leave some holes behind. Thank you, Adzi. Glad to know that I'm not completely hopeless today. This is not easy at all. Okay, I think that knight, I can let the knight come into d6. I'm not that worried about the knight coming to d6, I don't think. Because I don't know what it does from there. And my bishop on b7 is completely is completely redundant. So, oh, okay, fair enough. You win a pawn. I'd missed that. Right, do I want to give up the pawn or give up the exchange? Because I can still... Yeah, I feel like I can sort of shore up these loose pawns on g7 and e6, and then maybe even bring my my other rook over and not worry so much. Like, it's a pawn. A pawn's a pawn, but this pawn on h5 isn't actually that helpful in any respect. I was just trying to... yeah, this seems okay. Let's just keep going over here. Okay. So, what have we got? 152, they've got 40 seconds. I mean, my pieces are ready to launch themselves at the king, and the bishop and knight over on the king side here are not the most helpful in that regard. Okay, so I'm just going to keep coming. I don't know. It's one of those positions where actually the pressure's off. Kind of like my decision making is actually fairly clear. I've just got to try and open as many lines as possible, and also keep his pieces out. And hopefully I will cause enough problems to make something happen. But hey, we've had a good start so far. As you can see, we are... Actually, you can't see in the stream. There is a number 1 by my username that is slightly out of shot. But yeah, we've won all 3 games so far, and we'll see how we can do the... incidentally, the episode 12 of the Chess Pit podcast was out yesterday. We actually... I think we found that in some respects quarantine had been getting us down a bit more than we thought. I think the episode is still good, but it is the shortest one we've done yet. It's at 36 minutes, and I think part of the reason for that is just a little bit of fatigue on the night that we recorded it. But we are resolved to make the next one even better than anything we've done yet. Now, I've got this cute little tactic, I'm assuming it works, where the pawn on d4 is pinned to the queen, and I'm also attacking the knight on d6, but I'm assuming when the queen moves out of the way that the pawn will then be able to take the knight, and I suppose I can then play d4. Alright, well, this is defended. Okay, this all seems fine. And we'll throw that into the mix, and we've got d4 coming, I guess. And I'm now ahead on time, which is a little added bonus. Nice little soon-up. I'm not sure what the point of that move is. I guess you get past h-pawn, but really? It's miles away. Keep going. I'm not that fussed about that, am I? So I have to be careful here. Does that not give me a tempo to make my queen even better? Okay, so which way do we come in? Do we come into d4 or b4 with the knight? Yeah, I suppose opening up the... Yeah, opening up the d file for the rook must be sensible. Okay, you can have that's fine. Alright, this is going to be a traditional blitz finish here. Everything's just about okay, I think. My king's going to run away! Run away! Come on! Where can you run to? A5? Keep running. Keep running. Keep running. Come on. Whee! There. Oh god. Yes, just about okay, I think. Yes. Right. Shouldn't have had to flag there, but I will take it. All right, 4 from 4. Let's keep going. I'm enjoying this. Whew. How's everyone's day been? So saying that, yeah, normally Saturdays I used to spend actually some Saturdays in the pub watching football with Mr. Yap here. Remember those days? Those were nice. What have we got? 1962. Okay, G4. Okay, we have a grub. Mr. Yap wants more checks. He can get more checks. Not quite yet though. Let's play this sensibly. Can't remember the last time I faced a grub. What's the most sensible way of doing things here? Just okay, so that's all fixed, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. This seems reasonable. And then we'll play d5. God, look at the sheer number of pawns he's throwing forward. This is insane. Okay. I remember a particular Saturday afternoon where me and Yap Attack and my business partner Chris, went to a pub near Olympia during the London Chess Classic, where they had on Norwich versus Man City. This would have been about 6 years ago. And Chris is a Norwich fan, and I think they got pumped something like 6-1. It was not a very fun afternoon for Mr. Russell. Okay, so we've got a nice little knight in the centre here. His king is still exposed, but there's plenty of work to do. I can let that pawn on c5 go, and possibly even the one on b7 as well. Look at these knights surrounding his pieces. Danny Potter. I'm wondering whether this is the same guy. So I think it might be. Okay, so this guy, Danny Potter, who are you playing for? Athenaeum? Maybe not. If it's Daniel Potter, who seems likely, I witnessed a series of high-stakes pool matches between a bunch of people it's been a while ago now, but I believe there was one particular incident involving Mr. Potter where they hadn't agreed before the game started whether if you get to the black it's 1 or 2 shots, and there was a big sort of ruckus over that, and there was all sorts of back and forth going between them. It was quite ugly because it got down to the final black, and Mr. Potter was insisting that it was 2 shots on the black, and my friends were insisting that it was just the one, and it caused quite the stink. What should we do? I want to get some more pieces to look at d4, but I can't really do that. Can I play knight takes d4? I suppose that's the big question, because the knight on f3 is in theory pinned. But whether it's actually pinned... let's do it. I'm going to be a bit more bold in this tournament and go for things when they're, you know, like 50-50. This seems like quite a bold piece sacrifice. I get a pawn for it, but that may not be sufficient. I don't know. Happy to go for it though. This is a fun tournament, and we should not forget that. In these kind of positions, it pays to have more time, and hopefully, with this king completely exposed, I'm going to be able to make something happen here. So queen takes d4, queen takes f3, and then we'll try to stop him castling for as long as we can. That may not be so easy, but we will do our best. Blimey, really? I can start to throw every single piece I've got at you, I believe, Mr. Potter. Ooh, it's like a red rag to a bull. Keep throwing pieces into the fire. Got 4 acts. Well, my bishop isn't active, but I can hopefully make it active fairly soon. And he has no good way to threaten my queen, I don't think. That seems sensible. I'm not particularly exercised by losing to the Grob. Not in this economy, anyway. Yeah, I'll keep plugging away at all these little weaknesses. Ah, that's annoying. I have to swap queens. Ah, no. Okay, we can continue to try and mop up as many pawns as possible, but this is not going very well suddenly. Yeah, bishop takes pawn and then the... Oh, hold on. Alright, we've been given a lifeline. What's the material like? We are... What's 3 pawns up? 2 pawns. I need to be careful not to get back ranked. So I think that is unlikely with the king being able to escape to g7, and there's no open files. That was completely unnecessary, by the way. We can, I think, now start to mop up. I want to be careful here not to let him. I've got a massive time advantage. We'll have that. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Potter. Well played. So, 5 from 5. I see Trifon is clearly berserking in an enormous way. Right, I'm just going to have a little pause. I will be back to... I desperately need some water. I'll be back in 40 seconds. Right, we're back, and we are suitably watered. So, let's carry on. The Ottoman Slap. I had this guy last week. Played probably the best game I played last week against him. Let's have another Caro-Kann. I miss playing the Caro-Kann. I switched to the Sicilian lately, and it's been fun. But I think I need to play a bit more solidly. Now there's an interesting line here where you can play bishop f5 here. The idea being that if bishop takes f5, you've got queen a5 with a fork. I quite enjoy this line. It means you get your pieces out without having to worry. Good. So we've managed to solve the problem with our light square bishop, which is beautiful. As you can see down in the bottom here, yeah, I beat this guy last week, and but that was with white. And this is an entirely different challenge. Now I need to think about where I want to put my queen. Is it, because there's all these squares, c7, b6, a5, even d6 might not be unreasonable. Alright, this is a good time to have a little pause, a little think. The idea being, I don't want to get too cramped when knight e5 inevitably comes. So I want to have some activity if he starts to do things on the king side. But I should probably play h6 before I even think about that, just to give myself some air, and also to give white a decision. You should be playing in a way that means that your opponent has the sort of maximum number of decisions to make. And yeah, okay, so he's played the bishop back there, so we can just play queen b6 now, because bishop g3 can happen if I play queen c7. So that kind of forces my hand for me, which is not bad. Are we that worried? I think that might weaken b4 square for me later on. Start to give me a little hook to hang my b pawn on. So I can play b5 at my leisure, really. Which rook do we want to put on the d file? Do we want to put any rooks on the d file? I'll play rook c8 first. I'll need to play c5 at some point. So this looks like it makes sense. Okay, that also pretty much necessitates my next move. I can't let that knight come into d7 via a capture on f6. I imagine bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop, and then knight g4 is one idea, but this all looks very standard at the moment. I am quite happy with this. Okay. One other thing that these tournaments are good for is renewing old rivalries. And I'm not entirely sure who the Ottoman Slap is, but I imagine it is someone I've played before, given he's a Hackney player. Hackney is a club based in unsurprisingly, the Hackney district and the Hackney borough of London. And over the years we've had an enormous number, actually, really, of very big fights between Muswell Hill, my team, and Hackney. I remember a famous night in something like April 2011, that sounds about right in my head, where we rocked up to Hackney, who always play in a pub venue. So this was the Prince in near Rectory Road Station in North London, and we turned up with a team that was about 30 English rating points board down, which is about 250 points ELO. So every single board we were behind by this much, and we pulled off an extremely famous victory. And that was one of the... And I was captain of Muswell Hill that night, and it was definitely one of the more jolly nights after the match, let's just say that. So we've won a pawn here, but I'm not entirely sure we've got that much to be so happy about. I could play a positional exchange sacrifice here if I wanted to with rook takes c4. I'm not sure what rook d3 actually does. I suppose it allows the rook to come to d1 to double up, but I think my plan is just quite solid here. I don't think we need to panic too much here, because now I've got e5, have I not? If he plays the rook back to... I need to be careful here, and I need to be careful with my clock as well. Alright, we're going to go for this exchange sack because I think it is the most principled thing to do in this position. I've got a couple of extra pawns, my knight is decent. This can't be bad. It might be bad. I'm not going to give you any guarantees. It's not like the no repeat guarantee on Absolute Radio. You might have a repeat here of me making a terrible decision. That is always a danger on this stream. And I'm going to need to play very dynamically here to not just get completely thumped. You'd probably imagine, but I've got... The good thing about exchange sacrifices is that you still have the same number of pieces as your opponent. I'm going to need to bring this knight in pretty soon. Why not now? Everything's starting to move in the right direction here. I've got some nice little tactics, so I can play f6 here. Yep, keep going. I can have that, and I've got a knight fork on e2 if after he takes it. This is going pretty well. And then I've presumably just got some way of making it so that these pieces don't make sense on their existing squares. You'd hope. Again, can't guarantee anything. And I've got some other pawns to, and I can probably just start bringing my king over, to be honest with you. Yeah. And my pawn is perfectly safe. I have no real worries. You can start to zone in on that rook. Yeah, this is just not especially pleasant when you can't do anything about the your opponent's inevitable plan. This just wins, I think. There's not a lot you can do to stop my king coming in now. We can just play a2. And I'll find some magical way, maybe bishop a3. Yeah, you can take on a2, but all these pawns on the dark squares are not going to be long for this world, you would think. Zugzwang. Just need to get the opposition here, and it should be okay. Should be fine here to just get it done. Yep. Hard luck. All played. Okay. So that's 6 in a row? Something like that. But, how are we doing? Yeah, 6 in a row. We are this one. But I don't know how he does it. I don't know how... We've got McBooth again. I don't know how King's Crusher does it. It's just, the berserking is just nuts. Playing against strong players with half the amount of time they've got and just getting it done. I suppose that's what happens when you stream for 8 hours a day, but I wouldn't know about that. Mr. Gabriel King's Crusher is extremely dedicated to his craft, and we should thank him for it. But personally, I prefer to go out in the daytimes. I'm very lucky where I am at the moment. Not so lucky in some other respects. My wedding was cancelled due to the coronavirus, and I've had to abandon ship. I don't know if you've ever seen Threads, but me leaving London 3 weeks ago was very similar in style to the way that they all evacuate. Threw everything in a car and then just ran away. It wasn't quite like that, but it felt like that. It was incredibly abrupt, and it's very weird feeling sort of stateless. I'm very grateful to my in-laws for having me. However, I lived in London for 11 years and I no longer live in London. It's a very strange feeling to no longer have the tube on your doorstep, for example. It's interesting times. Right, let's actually talk about the game. So he's got this nice little pawn chain helping out that bishop on g7, which I suppose we should do our best to nullify the effects thereof. Okay, this is the dwell up. Let's think about what we want to do. We want to play on the queen's... Well, we want to play on the king's side, but actually that's not so easy. I want to prepare... Do I want to prepare to open up the g-file here? Let's see, let's try to open up the g-file. Why not? It can't be a bad decision. Let's just keep throwing fuel on that particular fire. Not sure where I want my bishop though. I think you're playing on the wrong side of the board, sir. I can hide you away. I'm just going to vary. You're playing on the wrong side of the board, I'm sure. Surely this does not make sense to play over here. I'll be amazed if this is any good for you. Yeah, opening up the centre might also help me as well. Really? Should we just keep going? Alright, I mean, I'm just going to take this and sort of see where it leads. I'm not... My king is... Obviously, look at my king, it's completely cocooned. I think we are very solid on that side of the board, and now I've got a passed A pawn to use in our... What the... Whoa, have I missed something? Well, I've got no choice here. What's going on? Oh, he took the knight. Okay, yeah, but I get d6 and quite a bit more, do I not? I mean, it just doesn't look very healthy. Ah, he does have Queen G. Okay, I'm gonna have to be slightly careful here, but I think I can. I think I can get it. Queen G7's the idea here, right? Okay, so let's just. Should we just shift one of the rooks out of the way? Which one? Probably. This guy. What's the material like? I'm still 2 pawns ahead. Okay, my bishop is completely useless, and maybe I should have actually moved the other one, but we might not need that bishop. We may not need it. Any requests for the next album? Because this album is running out of time. What should we have? Let's have Young Team. Why not? Oh, we had taken that pawn. I think we'll go with this. Okay, I need to watch the clock slightly here, but should we keep taking these pawns, or shall I take this a bit more seriously? Maybe I've misplayed this a bit. Oh, I've completely misplayed it. That was awful. Oh no. Whoops. This is what happens when you change the. Well, I think my bishop was probably, rook was probably not as good a piece as his knight, so that might have actually gone quite well. All right. All right. This is a bit different now. I need to stop talking, start playing. This king is still wide open. Do I want to? I might want to get rid of the queens. Actually, that might help me. My king comes into the game very quickly. This might be okay. My rook becomes active. I've got control of the only open file on the board, and I can play a4 to seal off the other one pretty much whenever I want. Oh, this looks very precarious. What a weird game. Might run out of time as well, I suppose. That's another danger. Oh, that's not gone well, has it? I think these rooks are too good. That's annoying. Okay, well played. Never mind. Never mind. That run couldn't last forever. We had 6 in a row there. It's not bad. Grubby Pawn. Hello, Grubby Pawn. Who are you? You play for Hales Owen. Okay. We'll play an English this time. I'm playing against some weird kind of Dutch hybrid, am I? Okay. That's an annoying game to lose. I feel like I should have had that one, but that's what happens in Blitz. Had some good games so far, and we've gained 14 rating points. That can't be bad. I'll just keep loading pieces onto d5, I guess. Yeah. Okay, let's just get castled and then decide which pawn we're going to move to start breaking things open in the centre. Assuming this is fine. And I can get a knight into e4. Maybe start thinking about playing c5. Okay, so I want my bishop on the long diagonal, I want this knight on e4, and I want to start kicking some metaphorical... Yeah, okay, let's go there. The light squares are indeed looking juicy, but they still have a light squared bishop too. I have 3 minor pieces that can look at light squares. They only have 1, now 2 versus 1, but making things happen is not so easy. Okay, problem is I don't want to make their dark squares even juicier, so I'm going to have to make some inroads here probably. Play a little bit on the dark squares. This seems thematic. Just hoover off as many of their light square pieces as possible. That rook on a1 was doing nothing. That bishop was on f5 was doing quite a lot. So we'll have another little thematic. Another thematic. Oh, it's me throwing my iPad. Sorry. Thematic exchange sacrifice here. Why not? Why not indeed? How do we get through though? Okay. If you're thinking about making an exchange sacrifice, one thing to consider is not doing it in a position where there are 2 open files, so that the black rooks can take both of them. Here there's only 1, so it means that at least one of their rooks will be out of commission. That's kind of the idea. Or maybe that's just something I've completely made up, but it seems to be a good little rule of thumb for the humble exchange sacrifice. You don't want to make their extra piece any better than it might already be. Just going to keep going here. I'm not entirely sure that opening up as you see the second, but I've opened up the second file here, so I've broken my own rule, but I've also really opened up that diagonal towards the king, and I'm going to see if I can find a way to get a knight right in his guts. Where do I want my knight? Okay, we'll just play some little moves, some small moves to keep him honest. Yeah, my job here is to try and make the knight better than, or is it now? Is it my job just to keep my bishop really strong? Bishop takes, walks into rook c3. Yeah, it does. I think I can afford to have the queens off here. My bishop just sort of sits on My bishop can sit on c4 quite happily and defend all 3 of those pawns, and I've still got control of the e-file. Yeah, let's pretend this is good. Yeah, okay, so we can at the very least not let. I think we can happily swap these off and then bring in the king to e4 or something and try and get a second pass pawn. Once again, exchange sacrifice. You're going to have as many active pieces as they are, so there's no need to panic in these positions. I think if the king goes to g5, I can start to push this pawn, so instead I can come this way, and I'm starting to go over those kings after those kingside pawns. But maybe, yeah, maybe this is quite good, but we will try to hold on to everything we can for as long as possible. This is okay, I think. Don't see any, because the bishop just holds on to all of these pawns. All his king's queenside pawns are fixed. My bishop's a good piece. What do I want to do here? Do I want to? Yeah, I can just take my time here, I think. Just gradually build up, because all the squares around that g7 pawn aren't looking so pleasant for him. Ah, okay, so everything's going to have to come off here, which may not be the worst thing actually. So yeah, it's easier to defend on one side of the board, but I'm going to get my king into d5 now, or am I not? Is this just a draw? Are we just going to get a repetition? I think we might do. Seems fine. Okay, well played. That was a good game. See the value of the bishop versus the rook, or the knight versus the rook, and then the value of the bishop versus the rook. How are we getting on? We are now the 4th best Muswell Hill player, but Muswell Hill are cleaning house. Lads, this is going a bit better than last week when Muswell Hill won the first 2, and first 2 weeks, and Hammersmith cleaned up, but they don't have their big hitters this week. Last week I think they had 3 international masters. We've got Mr. the Ottoman slap again. Okay. Did we have him with black before? We did. So we can have the same kind of thing, I think, where the bishop comes to f5. I did say I was going to try and play some different openings, but why spoil a winning formula, right? And then the bishop came to g5, and then I played. Oh, we played c4 first this time. Okay, that might be a bit better. That might be an improvement. Okay, yeah, so he's playing much more on the queen side this time, which is probably sensible. But 2 can play that game, and we can win a pawn, can't we? Take that first. I mean, he's got very active pieces, but I suspect I have just won a pawn. Okay. Yeah. Can I take that? Not take that with the queen and go 2 pawns ahead now? Or do I want to? Yeah, I mean, I'm 2 pawns ahead. I should be trying to swap pieces, right? Just realised my chip supper has been getting cold. I mean, are we not just 2 pawns ahead? That would seem to suggest we are, but I'd need to be careful because he has very active pieces. Okay, right, first decision. So, where do I want my knight? I think I still want it on f6, so we'll just play the bishop back, and then hopefully we can maybe even run this pawn. It's not ridiculous. Surprised he didn't play rook d1 last move. He's now forfeited that opportunity. These pieces are very active. I need to be careful that I don't allow some stuff on f7 or g7. Maybe b5 was a mistake here, because I think I'm probably just about okay after queen d1. No, I need to give my king some air, otherwise I might get back ranked, which would not be fun. And we do not get back ranked mated in this stream. Oh, you want to pin your own bishop d? That seems very, very bold of you. Keep offering swaps? I can't play queen e4 because of queen takes b5, so I've got to play queen b7, I think. Everything is just about holding together, but this is what happens when you're 2 pawns ahead, I guess. That you have certainly more opportunities than you might otherwise have. Try and clear that annoying bishop out of the way. Meanwhile, he's going for my king. It's bishop f8 next is ugly, but it is probably, hopefully, effective. I do not wish to overstate the relative safety of my king, but k2, is k2 playable? I might want to throw in a check first, mightn't I, to guard the back rank even more. That seems very sensible. And keep that king honest. So yeah, now rook a2 looks like it just does a lot of things at once. And then we can keep going. And we just have this, and then we will have the bishop, and then we'll probably have the game. Mates on g2 and h2. Yes, thank you, sir. That's 2-0 against Mr. Ottoman Slap tonight, which is pleasing. We're now the 5th highest. Who have we got? King's Crusher, Charlie, Mike Healy, and Tom Villiers are all doing a bit better than me. But as if you've been watching all the way through, as you should, then you'll know I've been playing okay. It has not been a bad night at all. Let's have another symmetrical English. Been enjoying these of late. They seem very easy to play because you can always meet d4 with a capture, whereas sometimes they can transpose into these other Catalan style positions where white gets d4 in quite easily. And now what I want to do is play... Do I want to play e5 here? And supplant pieces in his half of the board, or do I want to play e6 and do something similar? Let's go e5. Let's play like a King's Indian now. And then... yeah, this seems okay. e3, my knight just hops back to f5. Do I want to take this or not? Let's say we do. I'm not going to spill too much milk trying to dwell up the little decisions here. Big question here is whether I can safely play b6. Probably. Again, I'm not gonna waste too much time working out a minutiae here. I'm gonna try to play as directly as I can and get d5 in as soon as possible, because I need to play, otherwise my position really won't make sense. Okay, I think we've come out of this pretty well here, so far at least. If bishop takes, have I not got knight d7? Does that not win a piece? Feels like it wins a piece. d4, and then I've got en passant. He's resigned already. Wow. Okay, this is going a bit better suddenly. Are we on a streak yet? Not quite on a streak. Got one more to go. So what are we on so far? We've lost 1, 7, drawn 1. 1 set, so 7.5 out of 9 so far. That's good by anyone's standards. How long we got? 43 minutes. Time has flown. It's like a football match. First halves in football matches, when you go to them live, just never seem to last any time at all. This has flown by, and I hope you have enjoyed watching me actually do reasonably well in a stream for once, because it has not happened many times. I think this is the 3rd week running I've done this, and it's definitely been the most successful so far for me personally, at the very least. Not that that is anywhere near as interesting as the actual team element of it, but who have we got? Flemfish, Hammersmith. I'm not sure I know any Flemings at Hammersmith, but maybe we have met Sir or Madam in a previous match. Right, so our pawns on e2, d3 and c4 here indicate that I should be playing as much as I can on the queen side, and we are not going to disappoint. Let's start playing some moves in that general direction. Whereas black's pawns on, there we go, c7, d6 and e5 suggest kingside play. But I have got the first little blow in here. If you are just joining us, welcome. This is the UK self-isolating pawns team battle. It's not really UK, there's only one team here from outside London, but we will call it what the organisers wish. And I think getting rid of this D pawn in exchange for the E pawn is a... Or do I play E3 here and just nail down that F4 square? Try to open up the F file for my rook. Seems sensible. Okay, this is going a bit better. I can plonk my other rook on E1. Okay, so this is just your typical your typical King's Indian / English endgame, where white has already made lots of pawn moves on the queen side, but therefore the black pawns are a bit less mobile. And we can continue to put pressure. I guess d5 is the idea here. Yep, there we go. I think probably I want to get the queens off. Okay, now I've got a decision. I'm not too fussed about dropping a pawn if I can get some play for it, but I don't see any reason why we have to drop a pawn here. We can keep moving these rooks and doing things. Do I want to take that with the rook or the pawn? That's not an easy decision because I don't really want to open the d file for him. I probably want to take with the pawn. I don't love the queen coming into d5, and I still maintain hopes of what? Okay, fine, thank you. That's the thing. These games could end very, very fast if big mistakes like that one happen. Muswell Hill are cleaning house a bit here. Let's move this so that you can see the totals. Yeah, 178. That's a lot. Right, I have a very good player here. I have Henrik Stepanyan. As you can see, 24.59. He is about 22.50 FIDE. He might even be a FIDE master now. It's showing his username is not that he's not one, but he's been doing very, very well of late. He's I think possibly 2 years younger than me, maybe 3, and he was always one of the best juniors in the age group, whichever age group it was, 2 or 3 years below me. And it still feels strange talking about these guys as being like 2 years below me, or because that's the kind of thing you say when you're in school. But I'm 30 and he's therefore presumably 27, 28. I'm still not quite out of the habit of saying that kind of thing about people. Right, what do I want? I want the d4 square, but I can't play e4 yet, I don't think, because if pawn takes pawn. So maybe I can play this first and then play e4. Okay. Spent a bit of time talking about that decision, but we will... Oh, really? Okay, this all seems very solid now. That's a nice queen he's got, but I can plonk a rook on the d file, or can I? Because e5 is coming. I don't really love that move for him. Ideally I want to restrict that bishop on c8 as long as possible. Let's try this. Yeah, Henrik he's always a decent player, but he's like really come on in his 20s for sure. He's been playing very impressively for Warwickshire in the 4NCL, for example. Okay, so we have an isolated queen's pawn position where I'm just going to try and play down the c file as much as I can and get d5 in when I'm ready. I might even be able to play d5 next move. Might allow e5 and activity for his bishop, but I think it's something you should do sooner rather than later. So let's do it sooner. And why not? This might fizzle quite quickly. Yeah, we'll take the c file, I think, or does that just lose a pawn? We can stop the bishop coming to a6 at least. That might be sensible. If everything comes off here, it should be a draw, but that's There are no guarantees. Certainly not. Okay, so he's fixed that, but I can take some squares now. So he's got 3 pieces. He said he isn't actually threatening to take that pawn, so I can play. Is there a way that I can? Maybe I can threaten rook c6. And then is rook c6 playable? No, it is not. We will not play rook c6. That would be bad. We'll take that instead. And then probably just defend that pawn. Which way do I want to do it? e4? e4 looks good, defends the pawn and looks at c2 and stops f5. And he's just got 3 pieces looking at it, but we can... Ooh, I need to be careful here. I don't want to let his king... But I also don't want to get back ranked at any point. Try and weaken some squares. Okay, I'll have to speed up as well. We can do this. We can do this, lads. Take some more squares. I guess f5 is coming soon. Yep. Would be unlike Mr. Stepanyan to disappoint us in that regard. Do we want to play? Let's try it. I'm not so sure it's sound, but he's now opened up his king completely, so I think it's sensible to try to infiltrate on that side of the board now. I just started watching Homeland, and the what I found so far. Let's have this pawn. Okay. We can come around here though. What I found is that it's very strange trying to watch a show where you know that it's not their real accent, and you just keep hearing, hearing Damian Lewis talking in his, I don't know where in Britain he's from, but he's got a very kind of posh boy voice, and that's all I hear. Oh, this is slightly sketchy now. Can keep going on the light squares just about. Anyway, what I found from home, yeah, so watching Damian Lewis is a treat as always, but also I think it's the first thing I've watched Claire Danes in since she did that Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet, which was absolutely shocking. The one with Leonardo DiCaprio, and it was set in like some nonsense thing where it was all modern and just not a very good film by all accounts. Right, so what I'm trying to do here is liquidate everything on the well, that didn't work because he's got Queen C3. Oh dear. Okay, we're starting to lose the thread a bit here. Maybe I should stop talking about Baz Luhrmann films. Baz Luhrmann films are bad for your chess. Who knew? Yeah, this is falling apart very quickly, and that might just about do it. Yeah, that will. Well played, sir. Okay. How long we got? Half an hour. Half an hour to keep going. Keep increasing this lead. on 7.5. Is it 8.5 out of 11 now we've played? Played 11 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 we've won. So we've got 9 wins out of 12 with 1 draw so far. I would take that. I've also just started watching the... Oh, we've got Dobbos again. I've also started watching The Missing, which is a BBC drama set in France about the sort of Madeleine McCann style abduction. Or it may well not be. I'm only halfway through. But what I've noticed about... we had this earlier where I played Knight D7 here and it wasn't very good. I think I want this knight to come here. So yeah, this looks a bit more principled. So what I've noticed about James Nesbitt, he only really ever plays characters who are sort of stricken in some way. So in Cold Feet, he's the character whose wife dies. Sorry if you're halfway through Cold Feet, but I think it was about 25 years ago now. And he played the local politician in Bloody Sunday, the ITV dramatisation of that, which was very good. I think he was also in one of the films about Irish independence around 1918. I think there's two films that were about that. There's one called Collins, about Michael Collins, and there's one called The Wind Shakes the Barley, and I think he was in one of them. Cillian Murphy was in The Wind Shakes the Barley, and I think James Nesbitt was in Collins. But yeah, he's just got this sort of... He reminds me of Tony Adams, the former footballer, or Paul Gascoigne now, where you can just see the demons behind the eyes. He's got that quality to his acting. And yeah, so James Nesbitt plays just the father of this boy who was abducted, and it's very sad and very dark, but they could not have chosen anyone better. Every single thing he's in, he just plays these stricken characters. You can just see into his soul. He's a very, 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 very good actor, is James Nesbitt. Very underrated. But I had a little... That's one thing I did do today. I had a little Saturday binge. So I've watched I think 2 episodes of Homeland today and 1 of 3 even of the Missing. So what we do here is he's trying to do his best to, and at the moment I'm kind of letting him, aren't I? Can I just take this? I think I'll just have this. Knight c6, queen e8, knight takes rook, and I'll get my rook to c8 somehow. Okay, so he's thrown an exchange at me. That can't be bad for me. We can... Yeah, let's just take the c file now and see what happens. Knight c6 is now not a thing. Oh, this must be very good for me. I've got to make sure my rook is definitely better than his knight, which at the moment it probably isn't because it's stuck all the way back on f8. Suppose we should take some light squares given all those pawns in the centre are on dark squares. Yeah, he's got to do something here, but this way I can get the... Can I get the... Ah, okay, this is trouble. Right. Let's start thinking properly. I've just got to play f6 here. I don't have much choice. I can't let that pawn come to f6. I can't let the knight come to f5 either. I mean, it's still going to get there via takes and then knight takes, knight f5. But oh, now he's got this pin working for him. I'm going to have to try to get rid of this knight quickly, otherwise I'm going to have some problems. Quite happy to give up the exchange here. That would be most beneficial to lose this amazing knight on e6. This is a prime example of when you shouldn't do exactly what he's just done and take the... I mean, the rook is just... The rook on c8 effectively is the piece that he's taken in exchange for his amazing knight. And now I've got 2 connected pass pawns in the middle. I have 4 pieces looking at the f6 square. I can move my queen to a6 check to get out of the pin next move. And this is looking a bit more comfy. Yeah, material's equal, but the 2 versus 1 majority on the queen side and the 3 versus 2 majority they have on the king side that doesn't really matter compared to the 2 enormous pass pawns in the middle. I'm just going to be able to play d4, e4, d3, e3, everything's just coming in that direction very fast, I suspect. We can solidify things first, can't we? Just... Yep. Plonk my rook behind one of those pawns, whichever one is brave enough to do things first. Which shall it be? Shall it be Derek the D pawn or Eddie the E pawn? Possibly neither, if I can get something else going first. Rule of thumb in these kind of positions is just to be as awkward as possible if you've still got a queen looking into their guts. But I mean, my bishop is just going to be able to do things on the dark squares pretty soon, and I don't think there's any real... Okay, we've got an annoying little pin there, but we can keep everything fairly solid, I think. If rook d2, then... alright, I have to have a think after rook d2, yeah, alright. I think we just defend it and then get the king out of the way at our leisure. Whether I play it to f8 or h8 and risk some back rank stuff is the next decision, I suppose. But e4, e3 is coming. And I'm not sure. I may not even have to move that d-pawn at any point. These kind of positions are probably the most instructive. This is the kind of position I would give to a student. And the first thing that students of a certain level will do is count the pieces. And obviously they are dead level. But this is the perfect example of a bishop completely dominating a knight. That knight has to go backwards. And then hopefully from here we can convert. I'm going to try and keep my rook on d8 now that I've marooned my own king, though I suppose I can play h6 to stop nasty things happening if I want to. Let's not get back ranked today. But this is the kind of position where it's just so clear that one side is doing way better than the other, just simply by where the pieces are currently at. I'm not that fussed about a knight coming into g6, am I? Because now I'm threatening queen takes f5 check as well. Seems okay. Everything is still defended. Every single one of my pieces apart from the queen is defended, which is what you want. Now, is there any tricks? There might be some tricks that I've missed, but I think my king is fairly safe. I really hope I haven't missed anything that would really, really annoy me. I mean, the knight is still pinned, I don't have to worry about it now, but... and what do we just run this pawn? Just keep running this pawn forever until it takes. Let's say yes. And then rook e8 takes. And then queen b1 check. Seems to seal the deal, does it not? Thank you, mate. That seems to be it. He's got... Okay, thank you very much for the game. 20 minutes left. This has been a marathon. It's been good. Which one of these are we? We are this one. So we're number 4 in the Muswell Hill team, who are tearing it up. And we've got Mr. Stepanian again. Now, last time I played in English and didn't deal with the ending very well, so we'll play something slightly different this time. Should we play a Catalan? Let's play a Catalan. Take this first and then come round this way. Then get rid of that knight and just solidify d4 and look at the d5 pawn as much as we can. So I've played this almost like Blackwood. This isn't the Catalan at all. I haven't played c4, but you get these positions a lot as black, where if e4 now then, or if e5 equivalent thereof, you get knight come into d4. Probably want to keep that rook on a1 just in case there's stuff happening on the just in case there's stuff happening on the diagonal with that bishop. Let's improve our pieces. We'll defer our option, to use an American football term, on the positioning of the e-pawn until a bit later. My idea there was to play queen c5, so we stopped that. Let's take some more kingside squares and try to make that knight on c6 look a bit silly, because at the moment it's defending that e-pawn, it's tied to the e-pawn. Okay, let's play a bit more dynamically than we did against him last time. It didn't go so well. Suppose it makes sense to try and give my knight on f3 a bit more life, which we can do via h2. This is perfect. So there's 17 minutes left in the tournament, and Mogwai Fear Satan has just come on, and which is 16 minutes and 17 seconds long. So we are going to be blessed with the presence of one of the best songs ever written. And what's disgusting is that Mogwai were about, I think they were 19, 18 when they wrote this. Just unbelievable talent. Mogwai are good for sunny days, for rainy days, for angry days. They are an all-purposes band, and I do recommend you check them out if you have never heard them. Mogwai, M-O-G-W-A-I. Thank you to Stoic Falcon for the compliment in the chat. That's nice to know that I've still got a bit of life in me, in the old dog yet. So yeah, now I'm going to try and supplant a knight in on d4 and maybe prop it up with one on e3 here, and I hope that bishop takes h4 here doesn't work. It may well do. Alright, we'll trust that bishop knight f1 holds everything together after this. Got to trust in these august times. But once we actually have a time advantage, I've been playing fairly slowly throughout, mainly to so I've got time to explain what's going on in the games, but also just, I don't know, just wanted to. I think we can just about hold this. If Queen comes back to E7, I can just put it back on. Yeah, it goes. So I can come back to G1 or H1. G1, I think. There's a repetition available to him if he wants, but I suspect Mr. Stepanyan does not, or maybe he does. Happy to take the draw here and get time for a couple more games. Wouldn't be bad to draw against the 24-66. I think I am just a pawn up here. Knight d4 is coming. Okay, so he's decided against repetition, which is perfectly reasonable. And I think we will start to take some squares over there. Let's bring this knight in. Try to get rid of that light squared bishop, or at the very least... Well, can I take a second pawn here? Or is that a bit greedy? Can I just take this? I think I can. And then I've got e4 to follow it up with. E4 and then queen d3, and g3 is covered additionally. My other rook can come into the game. I'm not saying I'm winning, but 2 pawns would be very decent if I could get the queens off, for example. So he's threatening the same thing again. Maybe he's going to take the repetition this time, because I'm not sure what else I can do apart from to play king back to h2. Maybe I can get to f2. That might be very risky putting it on the open f file, but I think it's definitely possible. Yeah, I think we're going to have to do this, aren't we? I don't think we've got much choice. Let's be bold. No repetitions today. Now e4 makes slightly less sense because that would open up the other diagonal. I think I'm just going to have to back this up with the rook, and then I've got queen a4, and then I can maybe hide my, if rook f6, I can hide the rook king on g2. Let's say I can. Maybe I can't. Maybe this is bad now. I think I'm just about still okay here. I hope so. It'd be nice to get a win. Ah, now the knight on. This now the knight drops. Now this is tricky. I've got queen g4 after bishop takes f1 though, which might just about be okay. You can't play queen h3 because of queen e8, and I can pick up the bishop. Right on cue. We can do this. We can win a piece. Thank you very much for the game, Mr. Stepanyan. I owed you that one. I'm not sure we ever played in junior tournaments when he was one of the best players in Warwickshire and I was one of the best players in Buckinghamshire. It's possible I played him. I think he was just that bit younger than me that I wouldn't have done. Where are we now? Is that me? No. That me? No. 4th. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Trifon's just been berserking every game and just picking up all these. It's the 3rd game with Blackie we're going to play against Mr. Ottoman Slap here. Should we go for the same line again? I guess it gives us a narrative. Right, so this is the 3rd Caracal we're going to get between me and this gentleman. And maybe we can make it 3 out of 3. You can see down here, I've already won 3 games against him, but one of those was last week. And we're going to get the same opening line, are we? Knight takes and then bishop d3. Yeah. The idea being here, as I said earlier, if bishop takes bishop, then queen a5 check picks it back up, and then we just take this. This is a carbon copy of game 1 and 2 so far. In game 1 he played bishop g5, in game 2 he played c4. And then we had rook d1. Did I castle yet? No, I played h6. I think I castled and then played h6. Okay, the bishop. This time the bishop comes back to f4. Last time we brought it back to h4. This time I think it makes a bit more sense for me to not castle, but I think I will anyway. Hope you've had fun watching this stream. I am here on behalf of the Chess Pit podcast. We've released 12 episodes so far, and we have a bit of bonus material on our Twitch channel on here and also on YouTube. But the idea of the podcast is that while the Perpetual Chess podcast is brilliant, there's possibly a less formal chess podcast out there, and we're trying to plug that gap. And it's been a lot of fun so far doing it. Where do I want my bishop? Do I just want it out of the way completely? I think I might. Yeah, we are available on all podcast aggregators, including Apple, Google, Spotify, iVox, Castbox, Pocket Cast, all of these. And yeah, we've just been going since January, and it's been a hell of a lot of fun, and it's been really, really good for my mental health in particular to have something different to focus on during times of quarantine. Because yeah, you need something to love. You need something to really focus on. You need a home during times like this, and having this little outlet, just spending an hour a week talking nonsense with my friends and then broadcasting it to the world has been really fun, and it's been good to see people getting involved through these kind of streams as well. Now, I've been trying to play c5 here. I think I can actually finally play it. The idea being just to disrupt their centre and open up the c file for my rook and try to make their pieces look silly. Now, I think we're just about okay. The idea being is that I can... Oh, hold on, I need to be careful here. Can I play knight? Alright, hold on. What do I need to do here? Oh, I might have mucked this up. Right. I'm going to have to start trying to remove pieces, otherwise I'm going to be in big trouble. So knight takes f6, pawn takes f6, rook takes d1. My king is probably quite safe on g7. It's not impossible. This would be a sad way to finish if I get done here. This might be a better way of doing it, because the queen will still be looking at h7. Unless I can... I think we're just about surviving here. Just. But it's going to take a bit of effort to ensure it. Because I think I can bring my queen over to g5. Or maybe even my rook over to g5. I need to do some prioritization here. Do I want to keep the dark squares happy or my king happy? Probably want to keep my dark squares happy because I think my king will become unhappy anyway. Alright, we're going to do it. We're going to just try to slam my queen over to h5. My king could even go to e7, but then I might just be walking into all sorts of things in the centre. I feel like my king is probably safer on h8, which is weird, but what's the material like? I've still got equal material and I've still got decent chances of creating a passed d pawn later on. I'm going to have to be very, very accurate here. Otherwise I'm going to be in deep, deep trouble. Let's trust my gut. Go with your gut. I think my king's safer there. I might be proved wrong instantly here. That's happened a lot. Where's that queen coming? g4? Oh, b7's hanging as well. Got to play a move. Got to find a move here. Otherwise I'm going to... this is going not so well suddenly. Not suddenly. It's... yeah, this is horrible. I suppose I should just try to protect things. Queen e7 is just very, very strong here. All my pawns are going to fall off the board, I think. Yeah, start taking pawns, I know. Yeah, but how I do that is not so clear. Let's take this one. Let's take one at least. Because I've got... I've got queen a1 check and f5 if he plays queen g4. I need to get my queen on this diagonal anyway. Running out of squares. I need to play f5 quickly, otherwise I'm just going to be stomped. I think I could possibly get it in here. Next move, and then I can probably try and develop my rook and make things happen. Probably want, yeah. Let's say I want the rooks off. I don't think it can be terrible with the material being equal. This is where the adrenaline starts kicking in. Need to just play, not worry too much. I mean, that c pawn is going to be fast, but we can do our best to arrest its progress. There's just no way into his king, unfortunately. I have to start shoving this e pawn, I guess. Just throw my king. Oh, here we go. Let's make something happen here. Yeah, my king is close enough, I think. That was not that much fun. Thank you for the third game. That's 3 wins against Mr. Ottoman Slap. I will take that any day of the week. Where are we now? Third best player from Muswell Hill, and can't see many scores above. There's a couple here. 1, 2. What are we doing? 5th or 6th overall? Simon here is having a very good tournament, but yeah, I just don't understand how. I suppose it's just practice, isn't it? Trifon just absolutely crushes at the these games. Right, tournament pairing is now closed. 30 seconds left. That will do it. Thank you very much for watching this stream. And yeah, if you could tell your friends about the podcast, listen to the podcast, subscribe, review. All of these things will help us. And I will be back next Saturday for this. And there'll be other streams during the week. So please do subscribe to this channel. And we'll see you again very soon.